What is going on, college basketball fans? And today we are doing another early season tournament prediction. We already uploaded the Maui Invitational Tournament prediction, so if you haven't seen that, make sure you guys check that out after this one. Now we got the Battle for Atlantis, another pretty stacked tournament. We got North Carolina. Let's not forget, they still got Armando Bacot. They still got R.G. Davis, two guys that played in a national championship game against an amazing Kansas team that won the championship that year and played them pretty close and almost won the Natty that year. This team, still has two of the core players from that squad, and then some transfers like Harrison Ingram, Cormac Ryan added onto that. A very solid team. I feel like underrated team at this point in the season. We got Villanova, who I feel like is a little overrated, but they are top 25 still. They lost to Penn already this year. They got Justin Moore. He's played in a Final Four before. He's a very good guard. We'll see what they can do. Texas Tech, they got a guy at head coach now in McCasland who won the NIT championship with North Texas last year. He is now the new head coach of the Red Raiders. We can see what they can do. Michigan got a very solid win over St. John's this year, but then got upset recently. But I really do like Doug McDaniel and Nurmani Burnett. They look pretty solid. Memphis looks amazing this year with their two guards, Quinterly. They got Dandridge. They got a lot of really, really solid players on that team and kind of an experienced team. I really like what Penny Hardaway's doing. Underrated team up to this point. That's going to be a very good game. And then, of course, Arkansas. If you guys haven't seen my way too early bracket predictions up to this point, Arkansas is my national champion. Of course, the day I'm recording this, which is Saturday night, Arkansas did just get upset, I think, yesterday on Friday. So that prediction turned out to not be looking too good right now. But like I said in my last video for the Maui Invitational predictions, these early season predictions these early season tournaments are very important to watch because the last so many champions in March Madness have won a early season tournament. It's very important to see your team, how they stack up against some of these other power conference teams early in the season, make your adjustments, all that good stuff. I think it's always good to play a harder schedule, see what your team is built like early in the season rather than just play a cupcake schedule and just win every game. I think like a lot of the good coaches will do that and play harder schedules at the early beginning of the season. But let's get into it, man. First up, we got North Carolina versus UNI, Northern Iowa. And Northern Iowa, in recent memory, they have had a few upsets in March Madness. Could they upset North Carolina here? I definitely think it's possible. I don't think they have that great of a team this year. I am going to pick North Carolina to win this game. But I don't think it's completely out of the question for UNI to pull off the upset. I mean, anything can happen in college basketball. That's why I love it. That's why you guys love it so much, because we get to see upsets like that happen all the time. But I'm going to go with the safe one here. I think it's 9 out of 10 times North Carolina is going to get this job done. I just don't see anybody stopping Armando Bacot. Armando Bacot, even though North Carolina hasn't really played anyone, that's probably why he's quietly having like a double-double every single game, like 22 and like 12 boards a game. He's killing it. He's still one of the best centers, one of the best players in college basketball. Everybody was kind of on his train the year they won the national championship, and then after last year, seems like, people will turn on you quick, and college basketball fans seem to not generally like North Carolina at all, just because they're a blue blood, stuff like that, and they kind of turned on Armando Bacot pretty quick. But next up, we got Villanova versus Texas Tech. I mentioned I think Villanova's pretty overrated up to this point. I don't think they should have been preseason top 25, given what they showed us last season. I know towards the end of last season, even though they didn't make the March Madness tournament, whenever they got Justin Moore back, they looked a lot better. I think that's kind of where the AP was coming from. They're going to be good, but Jay Wright retired, and then last year they weren't too good after that. And they already lost to Penn this year. I don't really trust them. I mean, Texas Tech, they have a lot of really good athletic guards on the team, physical defenders like they always do. I'm going to take Texas Tech here to pull off what is probably going to be a slight upset over Villanova. I'm sure Villanova is going to be favored in this game. Game start, I think, Tuesday. And I'm going to go with Texas Tech. You got to pick at least one slight upset here and there, and I think Texas Tech is going to be able to get it done here. I think I trust them more. I like their guards. I like their defense. I like McCasland as coach. And I'm going to take Texas Tech to defeat Villanova in round one. Next up, we do have Memphis versus Michigan, and Michigan looked really good. Like I said, Burnett. They had Doug McDaniel, who has looked really amazing so far up to this point in the season, but I like the experience of Memphis, and their guard play is always so good, especially when they have experienced guards, because Penny Hardaway is such a good guard coach. They've had some amazing players, of course, Kendrick Davis last year, and they've just been killing it, man, and I like Memphis this year a lot, and what they have been showing, so I am going to take the Tigers here to defeat Michigan here in round one. I definitely feel like this is, well, either this one or the Villanova-Texas Tech game, very 50-50 game, so we'll see what Michigan team we can get. If it's the Michigan team that cannot miss a three like they did against St. John's, they could definitely win this game, but I like Memphis's odds here in this one, so I am going to select them to get it done. I also think that David Jones is the best front court player in this game as well. He is going to be able to have a pretty good game against Michigan, I feel like. Next up, we got Arkansas versus Stanford, and I'm going to go with Arkansas to win this one pretty easily. I don't think Stanford is an absolutely horrible team, but especially because Arkansas just got upset a couple of days ago, so they are going to be coming into this tournament pretty hungry, and they have such a solid team, so many talented players. If they can put it all together, I feel like they could win the national championship this year, and in order to do that, they are going to have to win an early season tournament. I feel like not necessarily true, but over the past 5-6 years, yeah, that has been true. You know, Baylor, Virginia, Kansas, UConn, all of our recent champions have won an early season tournament like this. So it definitely comes into consideration, at least for me, whenever I come to making my national championship pick by the end of the year, by the end of the season, I should say. But I like Arkansas in this game a lot. I love Tremont Mark. I want to see him get a bigger role in this offense. He is such a good defender. It seems like their go-to player has been Khalif Battle, which is not a bad option. He is such a good shooter, and I also like the athleticism at the forward position that they have there. I think that Arkansas, all they're missing is a little bit of post play. I feel like if they had some post play by their bigs, yeah, that would definitely be a good thing for them. But yeah, I'm going to have them get past Stanford for sure. So next up, we got North Carolina versus Texas Tech, and again, I really like this North Carolina team here to get it done over Texas Tech. I mean, North Carolina, I think Armando Bacot has a game in this one. I don't know if Texas Tech has the bigs. I mean, they always have good defense, good defensive bigs, but I think Armando Bacot could dominate the boards here in this game. I think that North Carolina is really going to show people, okay, they are a team to not really mess with, and yeah, I think they're going to be properly rated after this tournament, after beating UNI by a decent amount, beating Texas Tech. I think they will make it to the championship game, because I think even if Villanova does get by Tech, which is very possible, I think North Carolina beats Villanova as well. I'm very higher than most on North Carolina right now. I think that Caleb Love, there's a lot of issues going on, rumors about how maybe Caleb Love leaving was an addition by subtraction. They brought in Harrison Ingram, which I like a lot as a very good small forward. He's going to play his role very nicely. I like that a lot. They also brought in Cormac Ryan over from Notre Dame, who is going to play a pretty good role as well. I'd like to see him get going scoring-wise a little bit more. They got good sophomores coming off the bench like Seth Trimble. If they can get going, North Carolina, that's when they turn into like a real threat in college basketball. But I'm going to have them to defeat Texas Tech here. Then we got Arkansas versus Memphis, which is going to be just a very fun game. All these experienced players. I think Arkansas has more depth, and I think Arkansas will win this game. I mean, I'm very high on Arkansas, as you guys know from just watching my channel. If you guys are new here, as I mentioned earlier in this video, I think that they could be national championship contenders. All they're kind of missing is the post play, which I do think that David Jones could have a good game here in this one, but again, they still do have Trevon Brazile, who I think could match up pretty well with David Jones in this one, and his athleticism is just very fun to watch as well. So I'm very excited. I really hope we get to see Memphis versus Arkansas, because this game is going to be very telling for me where these two teams are at this point in the season. It would definitely be a good kind of like just game to see where things are at. You guys know what I'm trying to say. So next up, we have our championship game, and I will go back and do like the losers bracket and stuff like that if you get. But I'm going to get to the champion first. That's what you guys want to see. Who's going to win this championship? And it's going to be a very good game. Or North Carolina versus Arkansas. I just love Arkansas's length, their defense. They have so many good guards. But the thing about their guards, they're lengthy. Like Devo Davis, Khalil Battle, Ellis, Tremont Mark. Mostly Trevon Brazile, Devo Davis. Like these are Khalil Battle. These are tall, lengthy guards, athletic players, and they're going to play good defense. And I think them as a collective group could slow down Armando Bacot, but they could even, like, Armando Bacot could have a good game, and I could still see Arkansas just dominating in all other facets of the game and winning this one. So I am going to pick Arkansas to win this, but I think North Carolina plays this, like, close enough to where it really opens people's eyes, like, that, like, often does in these early season tournaments. Like, okay, this team, like, even with the loss, it happened with, like, I think Creighton and Arkansas last year. We're like, okay, these are two teams that are really good teams and are going to be threats in March Madness. Like, I feel like we could get that with this one, Arkansas and North Carolina. We're going to be like, okay, North Carolina, they're probably a top 25 team, and they could be dangerous in March. Like, we're going to be able to tell that just by the result of this game. I think it's going to be a close one. It's going to be a great one, but I'm going to have Arkansas win it here. And then for the third place game, we're going to have Memphis and Texas Tech. That's going to be a very fun game because I feel like they match up well. I would take Memphis probably in a close one for that third place spot. Then we would have UNI versus Villanova. I'd probably take Villanova in that one, but it's very possible Northern Iowa could get it done. Then we got Michigan versus Stanford. I would take Michigan. And then we would have Michigan and Villanova for fifth place to finish out the losers bracket. And that would be a rematch from, 2018 National Championship? Where Jalen Brunson was going crazy. That would be a lot of fun to watch. Justin Moore versus Doug McDaniel in the losers bracket championship. Fun to watch. I think I would actually go with Michigan in that one. I mean, I feel like they're kind of on the same level. Villanova might be slightly better, but I'll go with Michigan. Why not? To finish off fifth place, Villanova sixth place, Stanford in seventh, UNI in eighth, and then we got Memphis in third, Texas Tech fourth, North Carolina runner-up, and your Battle for Atlantis prediction by me is Arkansas to win it all. I feel like that loss that they had recently is really going to wake them up heading into this tournament, and I feel like they're going to play in some close games against Memphis, against North Carolina. They're going to be very fun, very entertaining, but I just love this group of players that they have put together. If they can work together, get it all together, get it figured out, I think that Must Bus is going to be heading out of Atlantis with a tournament trophy. So that's going to do it for this one. We already have our Maui Invitational video uploaded on the channel. We're going to have our ESPN Invitational uploaded tomorrow on Monday, since that tournament actually doesn't start till Wednesday. And tomorrow on Monday, we also should have our Power 35 rankings out on the channel as well. So double upload today, double upload tomorrow on Monday. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know who you guys think is going to win this Battle for Atlantis tournament. And yeah, guys, subscribe if you guys are new. I'm out.